welcome to Fireside Friday. And a happy St. Patrick's Day, too. So there's that going for us. Today, what I want to discuss is taking the programming off of, in this case, a Baofeng radio. This is my everyday use radio. It's got everything programmed in it that I want. It's got my personal channels that I use here around the home or in case of emergency. It's got local repeaters on it. It has frequencies for NOAA. The FRS GMRS is programmed into there so I can listen to that. Everything that I need is programmed into that radio. And what I've got is it's a brand new one. I just opened it out of the box today. I've had this hanging around on a shelf for probably a couple of years now. Never even opened it. I undid the wrap for it today. And this little bun is going to be one of my backups. It might be something I hand to a family member. Actually, not a family member. I've already got those programmed and ready. But I might want to give one to a neighbor so that we can keep in touch in the case of a disaster, a fellow MAG member, whatever. But I want the programming from my daily one to go into here so that everybody has the same channel numbers and everything will be copacetic if I need to give this to somebody. There is a possibility doing this with CHIRP. If you don't do it right, you can brick your new radio. And I've done that before, and trust me, it's a pain to undo, but I did figure it out. So today we're going to show you with some screen recording software how we're going to get that done. And of course, what you need is the two radios, the one you want to program copy from, and the one you want the program copied to. We're going to need the programming cable, USB on this side, and that just plugs into your Baofeng. That's the standard Kenwood connector that they use. And this small notebook, get in the screen here. I bought this at a ham fest specifically just for ham radio. I went out and I got a 12-volt power supply for it, so that will invert up to 110 and I can charge it. Actually, it doesn't invert, just converts it to whatever voltage this is. I think it's a 7 point something volt or whatever it is. I have the converter. I can actually charge this and use this off of an automotive accessory plug. I have that converter. I keep this in my go bag, ready for use in an EMP proof bag. But we're getting it out now. I did have to install screen recording software on this so that we could get a good picture and I could show you exactly what I'm doing. But other than that, pretty much the only thing that's on this, other than the operating system, which is Windows 95, is I have my ham radio programs on here. I have my FLDG, I have my CHIRP, I have my Rock Mic controller program on here, a few other things. I also installed OpenOffice, which is like a free version of Microsoft Office, so that I can open documents, spreadsheets, things like that on it. And a few other little things, but there's a browser on it for updating software. Other than that, I mean, I don't even have my email addresses in this. It's not what it's used for. It's strictly ham radio operating software on this netbook. We're going to switch over now. I'm going to show you the screen record of how I do this. So hang tight. We'll be right back.
Alright, so here we have CHIRP installed. A programming cable is plugged into both the computer and my original radio that I want to copy from. Now what we're going to do is going to go to radio, download from radio, right there, there we go. Why are we being slow? Oh no, alright, and it is on COM6 and it is a Baofeng UV5X. We're just going to hit OK. Yeah, that's fine. Everything's good there. Click OK. And as you can see, it's downloading from the original radio. We'll give that a minute to go. It actually doesn't take that long. There's not a lot of memory channels or information in the radio to download, so it'll take less than a minute. It's done now. And any moment now, Yeah, we're going to get a list of our memories. There it is. Now, a lot of people would just plug in the new radio and go back to radio here, upload to radio, and think that they're fine. And they're not. And there's a reason you don't do that. If you look here, there's two tabs. Right now we're looking at memories, which is default. But there's also a settings tab. And if we go into there and go to other settings, you're going to see this. The first thing that pops up is firmware message 1. Now that is telling the radio what firmware it's supposed to be using. And your radio, when you turn it on, will check that versus the firmware version that's actually in your radio. And there are different types. And if they don't match, you've just bricked your Baofeng. And I've done that before, and it's a gigantic pain to unbrick it, but I did figure it out and got it running again. Now that's a problem. So what we actually want to do is we're going to go back to memories. We're going to unplug the original Baofeng, and we're going to set up the new one with a battery that's charged, and we're going to plug it into our programming cable and turn it on. Then we're going to go back to radio, and we're going to click download from radio. And yes, it will go through all of this. That's fine. That's okay. That's okay. And again, we're going to get clone progress. And right now it's downloading all this same information from the new radio that I want to program. And it's brand new. It's in the package. I've never actually even turned this radio on before. I really only opened it up for this video. And there we go. We'll go over to that one. And you see there's a couple of things programmed in here, and I really honestly couldn't tell you why. Interesting. 452, some tones and stuff. Honestly, I've never opened this radio. I took it out of the shipping package just this afternoon. In any case, doesn't matter. Maybe this was returned from another customer and sent to me when I bought it. Could be. What we're going to do is we're going to go back to our original one that has all my, you can see them here, all my repeaters, everything's properly programmed and all that. Offsets are here. TX power is all there. What we're going to do is we're just going to click here. Click and hold. Actually, maybe we can just go right down to the bottom of this. Okay, there we go. My last one is program number 117. So we're going to hold the shift key and click that last one. And everything should highlight. Should. But it didn't. Try that again. Get out there. Click on that one. Over here, scroll down. This isn't the best computer. This isn't even anywhere close to my daily use computer. It's just used for radio stuff. That's it. I'm going to hold the shift button. Click that one there. Now we have everything highlighted. Now, right click, get the menu up, and we're going to go to copy. We're going to copy all that. Then we can go over to our brand new Baofeng. I'm going to click into space number 1, right click, and hit paste. Overwrite, we're going to choose all. It'll ask me one by one, and that's annoying. So we're just going to click all. And any moment now, yeah, this isn't the fastest computer. There we go. Everything's been copied over. Now we can go back to radio, upload to radio. Yes, that's okay. That's okay. And while it's cloning off screen, I can see the green light flashing. the RX light flashing on my Baofeng, so I know it's actually cloning over. All my pre-programmed channels, I have channels on there that we use for home communications, emergency ones, tactical frequencies, and all my local repeaters. Police scanner frequencies are on there. What else have I got on there? I've got the NOAA. I have the FRS and GMRS frequencies programmed in so that I can listen in on them. And there we go. Everything's done. We can just close this right down now. That is how you properly copy the programming on a Baofeng using CHIRP. Like I said, don't just download it and then re-upload it to the new one. You're going to cause a firmware problem, or you could cause a firmware problem if you bought, especially if you've bought the radios within months or even maybe even years of each other. No, we don't want to bother changing that, saving that. And like I said, I bricked a radio doing that once, and never again. Boy, was that a pain to do. But it is repairable using CHIRP. So yeah, if anybody's bricked a radio because they've done that, get in touch with me by email or wherever, even in the comments section here, and I'll try and help you get that done with. Get it all fixed up. Alright, let's screen record now.
All right, folks. So that's how you can properly transfer the programming from one Baofeng to another. I'm going to assume that other ham radios work pretty much the same way. But for this purpose, I had two Baofengs. One needed programming, so that's what I used. And like I said, like I pointed out in that video, I've mentioned this a couple times now. If you just download from one radio and upload it to another radio, you run the risk, if you have different versions of firmware in those radios, like these ones probably do, you can brick it. And I've been there, I've done that. Again, if you're having the same kind of problem, you've bricked the radio after copying over programming, Baofeng, give me a shout in the comments. I will try to help you. And somewhere around here, I have a USB key with firmware versions so that you can repair those radios. Take care, Canada. Remember, be prepared. It's a tough world out there.